deliciously light potato cakes.
The first big thing that I remember as a kid was bacon and beans. So this is like a little rendition, except we're using the most amazing pancetta. Ernie, come on, psst, disappear. Go and chase some mice. Now, pan on, get nice and hot. I'm gonna turn these beans into glamorous beans. Pancetta into the pan. Lightly season that. It's cured, so it doesn't need that much seasoning. Now, start frying off that pancetta. It's amazing how the individual tastes of baked beans, they're somewhat bland, so I always like to make them a little bit more spicy. So, a nice, finely chopped chilli with the seeds. Chilli in. Now, a bit of garlic. Crushed. Phenomenal. Get that bacon really nice and crispy. Fry off the chilli and the garlic. And then onions.
My top tip for dicing, finely slice downwards. Slice across, then cut down to simply dice.
Bacon, onion, chilli, garlic, that flavour all contained in that little pan. Once you've sweated the onion off, a little bit of sugar in there. The brown sugar will start to caramelise, darken, and enrich it as well at the same time. That looks beautiful. Now, a couple of tablespoons of cider vinegar. Deglaze the pan. It's got that really nice, powerful kick to it now. Spice that up with one of my favourite seasonings, Worcester sauce. Bring that to the boil. And add your passata, puree tomatoes. Turn that down.
Simmer the sauce to reduce, then add in the classic baked bean, haricot beans. You can buy haricot beans dried or canned. They are packed with protein and have a lovely soft texture.
Turn down the heat and let the beans absorb all that beautiful, spicy tomato sauce. And just let that simmer now. 5 or 6 minutes.
Now for my potato cakes. They're a fantastic way to use leftover boiled potatoes and are so easy to make. I'm making a simple potato dough by adding flour and butter to the mash.
That gives it that nice sort of cakey texture, and it goes from this leftover ball potato to this nice, light, floury potato heaven. Take a nice spoon of potato, lightly flour your board. We're going to fry these crisp on the outside and just nice and fluffy in the centre. Now, get your pan nice and hot. We'll start off with olive oil into the pan. Now, put the butter around the outside because it starts heating up. By the time it goes into the centre, it's almost sort of nut brown. Gently. Turn it over. Love that nice, light, crisp. They look beautiful. Now, take them out. Oh. Potato cake in the middle. And a nice, beautiful spoon of beans. Growing up with beans on toast as a treat, still to this day, after all those years, has not changed my love or attitude for beans, especially cooked like that.
My smoky, spicy, homemade baked beans with light and creamy potato cakes, comfort and satisfaction on a plate.
Fish fingers with a delicious chip butty. The secret of a good chip butty is in the potato. Now, these are Desiree potatoes. One of my first ever jobs was working in a chip shop. I used to put sacks and sacks of potatoes into the rumbler, which was then the potato peeler, all day long. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit healthier.
For my oven chips with a twist, simply peel, slice and blanch for 3 to 4 minutes. Drain, season and cover well with paprika. Spread evenly over an oiled baking tray and place into a preheated oven for 20 minutes. Simple as that. Next up, easy fish fingers.
This is pollock, a really nice, firm, delicious fish. Cut the fish in finger-size batons of fish. Put them onto your plate and just lightly salt them. You can do that literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes before you start cooking the fish. It firms the fish up beautifully and it allows it to become a little bit more durable, especially in the pan.
Now for the coating. Start by thoroughly coating the fish in seasoned flour.
And then just roll it to get rid of those little sharp corners, because then it stops those corners almost burning in the pan. In to your egg wash and really coat them. Wonderful. And then this is dill. Goes brilliantly well with the fish. And run the dill through my breadcrumbs. That makes it more aromatic. Lay them onto your breadcrumbs. Nothing wrong with the chip butty, nothing wrong with fish fingers. Just give it a lovely modern twist. Beautiful.
Once the fish fingers are thoroughly coated, they're ready to pan fry. And they'll need around 3 minutes on each side.
I want the fish fingers to be nice and crispy. Get a really nice colour on them first, and then we'll flip them over and finish them with butter. Bring the heat up into the pan. A nice little knob of butter. That'll work wonders with the breadcrumbs and the dill. Nice and carefully. Take them out. They look and smell incredible. Stay nice and crispy.
Now to assemble my chip butty, starting with buttered, thick, crusty bread. Take a slice of bread. Mop up that amazing flavour. On. Slice in half. Never slice in an angle. My mouth is salivating. Beautiful. On with the chip butty. There's one thing missing, and it signifies that I've never forgotten the joy of comfort food. But my God, that makes me feel like a 9-year-old. Now, excuse me for one moment, will you? I want to stuff my face. Homemade fish fingers and my ultimate chip butty. So simple to make, but trust me, it tastes amazing. My ultimate Scotch eggs with a twist.
I go fishing a lot, and Scotch eggs are the perfect all-in-one mini picnic breakfast. First thing, get your eggs cooked. Bring the water up to boil, onto the spoon, and lower them into the water. That way they don't hit the water and crack. 4.5 minutes. That will keep the centre nice and slightly runny. Now, ground sausage meat. I'm gonna make mine a little bit spicier. I'm gonna crumble in black pudding. That helps to season the Scotch eggs inside. A little touch of salt and pepper. And then just to make it a little bit sweeter and a lot easier for the kids to eat, some grated apple. Combine that, blend in the apple and the black pudding. Eggs, once they're cooked, drain them and then run them under cold water.
Cracking and cooling the eggs quickly will prevent the yolks turning grey.
Tap them on the side of the pan, put them back into the water, and what happens, the water seeps underneath the shell. You see the shell come off so much easier. Eggs still slightly soft in the centre. I want that little bit of richness with the yolk.
Next, you need to get yourself organised with a mini assembly line.
Seasoned flour, a little egg wash, and breadcrumbs. Take your mince, golf ball size. Spread the pâté, manipulate with your thumb, and then sit your egg in there and spread the sausage over the egg. And you just seal that over. It's really important to keep that nice, even coating of sausage meat around the egg. You don't want it too thick, otherwise it gets too dense and it's unappetizing. Give them a light dusting in the seasoned flour. If you don't put the flour on, the egg wash won't stick. And if you don't put the egg wash on, the breadcrumbs won't stick. into the egg, roll it round, shake off any excess egg wash, and roll it into your breadcrumbs.
You can use this same three-stage method to breadcrumb anything you like, from chicken goujons and fish fillets to Wiener Schnitzel.
These are panko breadcrumbs, Japanese white breadcrumb, so no crust.
You can experiment by adding flavours to your breadcrumbs like parmesan, herbs or citrus zest.
I always like to push the actual breadcrumbs into the sausage meat so it gets that really nice golden brown and stops any of the outside burning.
Once breadcrumbed, lower the eggs carefully into a 4-centimetre deep bath of hot vegetable oil for 10 to 12 minutes.
The eggs are actually cooked, soft and runny in the centre, so the objective is just to cook the sausage meat and the black pudding. They look great, don't they? They're hand grenades. There's something so magical about a Scotch egg on a picnic because it's like this little mini breakfast. Beautiful. Drain them onto the paper, roll them round just to get off any excess oil, and then to transport them, some greaseproof paper. That, for me, is the perfect start to the fishing trip. There's no wonder I never catch any fish, because I'm always too busy eating my Scotch eggs.
My ultimate black pudding lace Scotch eggs, an irresistibly delicious picnic breakfast. Malt chocolate donuts.
Street food is all about satisfying your cravings. These donuts are sweet, sticky, and absolutely delicious. First off, we're going to make the dough. Now, this dough takes a bit of time, but it's really exciting.
I'm heating all of the milk with the sugar.
This yeast, easy to get hold of. And when you make fresh donuts, you need fresh yeast.
Adding some of the warm milk to the yeast will activate it, which will help the dough to rise.
Just half. Give that a quick whisk. The sugar's dissolved in the milk. The fresh yeast disintegrates instantly.
Set the yeast mixture to one side while it does its job. To start the main dough mix, I'm adding half the butter to the remaining milk.
That gives the dough a nice silkiness. I want it light. So melt the butter into the milk. Flour into a sieve. That helps to make the dough nice and smooth. And you know what? When you've got a smooth dough, it sort of rises evenly.
Add a pinch of salt and 2 egg yolks. Pour in the warm milk and melted butter.
Don't start over-mixing it. When you over-mix the dough of a donut, it gets really tight, and you're not going to let it aerate. Yeast in. Ooh, nice and warm. I love that smell. Now, I'm looking for a sort of elasticy texture. Just dropping off the spoon. Nice. Flour the board. Take the dough out. Lovely. Lightly sprinkle, touch more flour, and just pull it over and push in. And every time you're sort of turning it, almost like you're turning the dough into itself. The dough should just sort of relax. And it shouldn't be sticking to your fingers now. It's just nice and pliable. Set that in a nice clean bowl. A little sprinkling of flour in there. So as it starts to rise, it doesn't stick. Cover that with cling film.
Leave the dough to rise in a warm place for 60 to 90 minutes until it's doubled in size. This stage is called proving.
Now, whilst that's proving, get a pan on.
For the chocolate filling or ganache, pour 500 ml of double cream into a saucepan and add honey. Bring the mixture to a gentle boil.
Traditionally, we've always put jam in there, but chocolate and donuts, wow, to die for. Add the cream. Now give that a good mix. The butter elevates the ganache into a really nice, shiny chocolate coat. Look at that. Whoa. Give it a really nice whisk. So the whisking gives it that aerated texture to the ganache. You're just lightening the load a little bit. Whoa. Nice.
Chocolate filling done. Put it in the fridge to cool, then it's time to gently roll out the dough.
Just let it
roll naturally, about 1.5 centimetres in depth. Slice. 1, 2. Place them on to your tray and let them rise again. Once the donuts have had 30 to 40 minutes to rise, it's time to shallow fry them in a pan filled 1/3 full with hot vegetable oil. Risen, but look, they're sort of like little pockets of air. Right, here we go. Place these in nice and carefully. 4 maximum. If there's too many in the pan, the oil will go cold and the donuts will come out soggy. Turn them over. Beautiful. They're going to come out into some sugar mixed with some malt powder, 50-50. How do you tell they're actually cooked in the centre? Tap on top, it should be hollow. In, and just sprinkle the malt and the sugar. Shake off the excess. I get so excited every time I make donuts. Now, look at those beauties. These are delicious, eaten as they are. But the ganache is going to be the icing on the cake. Piping bag. Peel the bag over your hand. Don't forget to pop the nozzle in. I want the texture, almost like a little liquid inside. So I'm going to pipe them when they're a little bit warm. Hopefully with that burst of magic. Operation Donut. Lift up the donut, squeeze, push in and fill. Just till you start seeing that chocolate coming out. And sit that back down. Nice. Sit them on there. They've got a little bit heavier, and we all know why. Nice. That one's got my name on it. Oh, that is amazing. Oh.